And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and always acting as your consumer advocate, helping you live a better life. And we want to engage, entertain, enlighten, and empower you so that you can win in any marketplace.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you're going to need it. 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-670-7372. Don't forget our number. Bookmark our website, consumerqb.com. A plethora of information available for you on our website at consumerqb.com. I implore you to check it out. Also, platinummvprealty.com for all your real estate needs, buying, selling, or investing. We would love to talk to you. And it's Intelligent Talk Radio. I've got some intelligent folks here in studio with me today. Back in studio, attorney Richard Alexander. Welcome in, sir.
Good afternoon, Brandon. Good. We missed you last time.
Yeah, man. I think if it was last Thursday, I was shooting the American Dream television show on a jet plane with my man, Captain Will Smith. I don't know if you saw that on social, but yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, man. Pretty cool. Yeah, we took a jet to Orlando. It was literally a 23-minute flight over to Orlando. Cool. Yeah. Wow. That was the first leg of the trip. Alexander Law, tell us what's going on over there.
Well, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the new laws that went into effect in 2019.
Nice.
There were a lot of laws that Governor Rick Scott signed before he went to Washington, D.C., since he's now one of our new senators.
Isn't that funny how governors, when they're on their way out, it's like, oh, let's change that. I remember Wisconsin did something like that, limiting the power of the governor, the outgoing governor.
Yeah, they can do that. I mean, presidents are notorious for that. Just before they leave office, they sign all these, thank you type of ambassadorships, judgeships. They do it all the time.
Right.
Every president does it.
Yeah.
It's one of the perks.
Wow. Yeah. It's, what's the word for that? Forgot the word. It's
parting
like fancy. Yeah. It's something similar to that. It's a fancy word that means basically like hooking up your friends, your family.
That's exactly what it is.
I forgot the word for that.
You're looking at nepotism?
Yes. That's it. That's it. So Alexander Law here in Tampa Bay. Welcome back in. Thanks so much, Richard. More from Richard coming up. We also have Joseph Warren in the house, CoCreativ. He's also an author and a podcaster as well. Welcome in.
Brandon.
Yes,
it's
sir.
So good to see you.
Yeah, man.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Where's this, January 17th already?
Yeah, man.
Things are moving. I'm looking forward to hearing what's going on in your life, where you're making progress.
Yeah.
Where you're like creating, I'm not even going to say resolutions. I hate resolutions.
Yes.
I'm all about creating intentions followed by goals.
I like it.
And there is a difference.
Set the intention, and it's going to come to life. More times than not, you got to follow through with hard work, dedication, and persistence, but it will happen. That's good stuff. All right. Bilmar Beach Resort, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Check out our hotel partner on Treasure Island Beach. The Bilmar Beach Resort is filled with fantastic and generous amenities to make your vacation that much more special. Whether you're planning a business outing, a wedding, a local staycation, or even if you're out of town, a vacation, the Bilmar Beach Resort is our official hotel partner. And I tell you, beautiful resort, two pools. You've got the Sloppy Joe's restaurant right there on site, and it's a huge beach, 2-beer beach, according to Clyde Smith, the general manager. So reach out, let them know that the real estate quarterback sent you. Bilmar Beach Resort on beautiful Treasure Island will not disappoint. Great place to go and hang out on the weekends. Beautiful place in Tampa Bay.
Sun shining, the weather is sweet.
All right, we've got a couple of hot real estate property listings here. 207 Coronado, $3.5 million property listing on Clearwater Beach. 207 Coronado. This is a great commercial listing, commercial opportunity right across the street from the newly built Wyndham Grand. Check out these beautiful pictures. If you're watching our TV show on WeBeam TV, see the Wyndham Grand there, right on the beach. My property listing is right on the opposite side of that, right there. It's a gorgeous opportunity. Development. It's operating currently as a convenience store, but it's a valuable piece of dirt, as they say here on planet Earth. They're not making any more planet Earth close to the beach like that. 1370. This is 207 Coronado, and it's a hot real estate property listing, commercial opportunity. Also, 7424 4th Street North. This is another great commercial opportunity that I've got. 7424 4th Street North in St. Petersburg. Dave's Automotive and Gas Station. It's a mini mart. It's an auto repair stalls, 3 auto repair stalls, generating really good income. Corner lot, and it's in a great area that's only going to appreciate. The Tampa Bay market is on fire, and it's only going to appreciate here. Great place to live, work, and play.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, so as your top consumer advocate here, 6 years running on air, we want to help you win in any marketplace. We love to bring on the attorneys, local, highly respected attorney here in Tampa Bay, Richard Alexander Law. And I really appreciate what you're doing and bringing in these new changes to laws in 2019. Every year you got some laws that sunset on December 31st, and they're gone. So here we are in 2019. What are you seeing out there, Richard?
Well, the one thing that affects me personally and affects anybody that shops or lives in Hillsborough County, and I can't believe not only did we do this to ourselves once, we did it to ourselves twice. We raised sales tax.
Raised sales tax. Wow.
We raised sales tax on ourselves 1.5%.
How did we get it? How do they do that? You know, they come through and they put it on the ballot where it's kind of misleading. Is that what they do?
I think that's exactly what the problem is. They put it on the ballot. It's written in legalese, and people get sort of confused as to what they're actually saying yay or nay on. And inevitably what happens is, lo and behold, what you thought you were voting no for gets overwhelmingly passed.
It's crazy how that happens, man.
And it's stunning because there's no such thing as a tax that goes away.
Right.
So if you're a Hillsborough County resident or you shop in Hillsborough County, now you have one of the highest sales taxes in the state of Florida.
Unbelievable. Is that the 7%?
That it is now 8.5%.
So the 7% been 7 for a long time.
Correct.
Now it's 8.5.
Correct.
Unbelievable.
And it went into effect January 1st.
So what are we paying for? Are we paying for the Bucks' new stadium or something? Or,
well, that's a good question. The 1% is going towards public transportation and upgrades to public roads.
Okay.
The 0.5 is going towards school needs.
Okay.
And you've probably heard a lot of talk about, some schools didn't have air conditioning. Some schools didn't have, water filtration systems. And, it was pretty bad for a while. Actually, I voted for that one.
Yeah.
Because I have a child in this, the school district. So that was personally, it affected me. But the other one, I said, no, I think one sales tax is enough. And lo and behold, we did it to ourselves twice.
Wow. Well, hopefully it goes where it's supposed to go to, and it's not going to be sitting in some bureaucrat's pocket or some bureaucracy that's, we're never going to see the benefits of it. So that's a big, hope.
Yeah, exactly.
Hope and wish.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with it.
So we raised the sales tax. What else we got going on?
Well, if you are on any type of wage, if you're an employee, you'd be happy to know that minimum wage went up in the state of Florida.
Okay.
Okay. It's not $15 an hour. But it went from $8.25 to $8.46 an hour minimum wage. So you have to be paid at least that. And if you are an employee that works on tips, then yours went up to $5.44.
Okay. Yeah. Those servers and those hardworking servers out there, those folks,
yeah.
I mean, they work hard, and then, a lot of people just don't even leave a tip or leave a very small tip. So $5.44 if you're on that situation. So $8.25 to $8.46. Wow. Kind of a small drop in the bucket, not even keeping up with the 3% inflation.
No, I know the math, right. The math doesn't help, right.
Yeah.
I agree.
So that's tough. But, the flip side of that conversation, they always say is, well, we pay that worker that amount. If it goes up on minimum wage, now the next line worker, middle line worker is going to want a raise. And then the guy that's making $12 an hour is going to want $14 an hour. So they talk about the ripple effect of that. But, really, in those jobs, a lot of times those jobs are for the entry level folks, college
Correct.
kids, paying gas money and, living with their parents. But, really, let's try to do better for each other. But, okay. So employees, the employee wages have went up.
Another one I thought was really interesting because I didn't think there was a demand for this. but since my firm does personal injury, I can see the need for this, is that hospitals are now required to post their prices online.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, that's interesting. So now you want to know why it costs, $300 for one Vicodin.
Yeah.
Now you'll know. They'll post it online, so there's no more shock and awe when you get the hospital bill.
$300 for a bike, and I mean it's ridiculous too. That's why more and more people are trying to find that black market offline.
That's correct.
It's unbelievable, the pill mills and all those things that people getting busted. I've watched those American Greed stories about that.
Well, actually, Brandon, it just came out about a week ago, but opioid deaths. Did you read about this?
I heard about it.
It just passed. The number one cause of death, used to be second to automobile car accidents. Yeah. Now, automobile car accidents are second to opioid epidemic and subsequent deaths.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Stunning.
Is that United States or Florida or Pasco County? What county is that?
That was the United States.
United States. Wow.
And there's a new law in the state of Florida that addresses that. That doctors now can prescribe a 3 or 7 day supply in extreme cases.
Wow.
And if it's a almost a terminal illness like cancer, for instance, then there's an exemption for that now.
People are looking for reasons too. The people that go in there and manipulate the system, they're good at acting. I mean, some of these people should have went to acting school and been on TV because I'm sure they're going in there and faking out the doctors. Now, also on the flip side, the doctors aren't very discriminate about writing those prescriptions either. Right. Because it's like the pharmaceutical companies are in their pocket. They're saying, hey, this is the pill that you need to push this week because I'm getting paid from Eli Lilly or whichever one of the big dogs.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't presume to tell doctors anything. I mean, they're highly trained professionals. They were acting in good faith, do no harm. Right. That whole idea, I get that part of it. But, there are some people that come in and are legitimately hurt. Yeah. And there's some people that say, man, I need that and I need it right now.
That's right. There's good, better, and best in every profession, and unfortunately, the few make the majority look bad in certain situations. Real estate, we have the same issues, with people like that. But stay with us right here, Consumer Quarterback Show. We got Joseph Warren in the house. We got Richard Alexander as well, Richard Alexander Esquire, that is, Alexander Law. And we're going to talk more about ways that you can live a better life and help you as a consumer advocate right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Every day we're doing something positive as well in our feel-good story. We got Chick-fil-A opens on a Sunday, so a boy with special needs can fulfill his birthday wish. Stay with us right here, Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by TrueLeaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Now, we took our team and merged with Keller Williams, the number one real estate company in the world. Real excited about 2019. Big goals, big things happening around the Consumer Quarterback Show and the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. We're hiring agents. We're looking to grow. So if you're a realtor or in sales, we would love to talk to you and help you with that. So the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is Brothers Easy Moving, and they strive to be the very best Tampa Bay moving companies by exceeding your expectations from the first phone call to the final customer courtesy call. And they are among the best reviewed Tampa movers, including Google, where they hold a 4.6 rating, the highest in the Tampa Bay area, an A rating with the Better Business Bureau, an A rating on Angie's List, and a 4.5 rating on Yelp. And they've also won the Super Service Award in multiple years. Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Reach out to Gary and his team over at Brothers Easy Moving. Let them know that the real estate quarterback sent you, and take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And Brandon Rhymes here. I'm excited about our other TV show, The American Dream, empowering listeners and viewers of our show. CBS broadcast locally here, Sundays on CBS, Apple TV, Amazon TV, Roku, and more. So we want to help you win in any marketplace. That is our goal as your number one consumer advocate. And as mentioned, I'm a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay. Got a hot property listing out in Hillsborough County, 5506 Dallas Way in Valrico, River Hills Country Club. Beautiful property, corner lot. Owner is the builder. Oh, so the owner built the home. 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, 3,500 square feet. This is a one owner home that is sure to impress. Beautiful property. Owner built it. He's a commercial construction guy, and he built his own home. So think about, there's no there are going to be no issues there. This property's built to the highest of standards. He's got the sprayed insulation as well, which keeps the whole attic space in your home, keeps your electricity bills down as well. We got another hot property on Antilles Drive in Seminole, taking it to Pinellas County. This is Antilles Drive, 9511 Antilles Drive, Seminole. 4 bedrooms, 3 full bath. You've got a half bath as well. This property's been reduced down to $570,000, 2,800 square feet. Welcome to your new estate-style home. 4 bedrooms, 3 and 1/2 bath. David Weekley home on almost half an acre mature landscape lot. Beautiful property here in gorgeous Tampa Bay. Check out PlatinumMVPRealty.com. All right. So we got attorney Richard Alexander, seat number 1. Seat 2, we got Joseph Warren, CoCreativ. He's a podcaster. He's an author, and just a great guy. He's in studio here. What you got going on today, Joseph?
Thanks, brother. Yeah. So like I was mentioning, January 17th, we're off to a new year, and my year is looking nothing like last year. And what I mean by that is I have my office rental and co-working businesses here in Tampa, and everything is working. That's fine. We had some hiccups last year. We went through some growth, and we're now in a place where everything is stabilized and good. And I think the last time I was on here, I was stepping back into the business full time to turn things around. Since then, over the holidays, I've been able to step back out of the business 100%. So I'm still owning, but I'm not in the day-to-day operations. And I got to tell you, I love the freedom. I love the freedom. And I'm really getting that true wealth looks like time.
Yes.
Right? Having that extra time. So the thing that's been showing up for me is getting out of my head and into my heart more. And I realized that most of my life, most of my career, I was stuck in my head constantly. What do I think I should be doing next? What do others tell me I should do? What should I do just to meet others' expectations, etc. Right? And constantly keeping up with the Joneses. Yes. And I've wrestled with that like my whole life. Right. Yep. And I'm finally, I think, at a place now where I'm able to just ask myself, like, what do I really want? What do I really want? Yeah. And what has shown up for me is I just started a new business 30 days ago. So I'm 30 days in. So it happened like literally through the holidays. And I started a spiritual coaching business. Nice. And I get to work with uber successful business owners, CEOs that have spent all their focus, all their energy pursuing great wealth and building their business empire. And now they have all the money.
Yep.
But what happens along the way so many times is that there's other areas of their life that got neglected because they were focused on chasing the money and building the empire.
Yeah.
And what they're now left with is they have all this money and they're wealthy as can be on the outside, but there's something broke on the inside and they're missing something. Or they just haven't asked themselves the tougher questions like, what do I actually want right now?
Right.
So I get to work with these individuals and help them get clarity in those places of their life that matter to them, the things that money can't buy.
Right.
And in doing so, I'm actually lighting up my own dream of doing it myself and creating a business I love, which is working with people in the same area that I'm having breakthrough in right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're looking at that, when you're analyzing, it comes down to the one question of why, right? And I've heard it said when you ask someone that question, what do they want? The next question is why. And then you literally ask why 3 or 4 or 5 more times. Why? Okay. And then you really get to the heart of what is in their true, their oneness, right?
What do you think is a common answer? Have you heard, what's that common answer when you drill down 7 layers to the why?
Right. I would say for people, it's coming down to family. It's coming down to potentially community. Maybe charity. It depends on where they're at in their life cycle. The mid 30s is going to be a different answer than somebody in their 50s and 60s because they're moving across that scale of what Tony Robbins, is talking about when he's going into contribution. Love, significance. Younger. One of the things that stuck out with me when I was studying that is the significant side. So you see sometimes young people they get tattoos everywhere. They get near piercings in places you don't even want to think about. So what happens is that's all about significance.
Now
right?
I'm thinking about it.
It's like, look at me, significance.
Yes.
I'm significant now. So people are going to ask me about why I did that or what's the, we're cool. It's going to be cool to some people. But I think as you move across that timeline, you're changing.
100% right. So I just took on a new client and she's my ideal client.
Nice.
So her business, she built it up to $250 million a year.
Wow.
She's one of the top 10 women entrepreneurs in her entire country, right, of Australia.
That's super cool.
Right. And here she is on a call with me and she's sharing with me some of the stuff she's wrestling with. And I'm like, listen, you got all the money, you got everything you want, right? She rides super bikes around the whole coastline and all that stuff. And I was like, what's missing? And she's like, I don't know why, but I still have this need for external validation. Like I need to be approved and accepted by others. And I want that out of me. Like I don't want that anymore. And I can't seem to get happy with that there.
Wow.
And I'm like, here's someone that has everything.
Yeah.
And doesn't have something that really matters.
Wow.
Like inner peace.
Yeah.
And just the centeredness around who she is, what she's done, how many people she can now go out and impact. And she's stuck and she's stopped in what they call the success trap. And sometimes you can make too much money and now you're stuck in it.
Right.
And you don't know how to get the very things that you were chasing to begin with, which was the happiness.
Right.
Or the inner peace.
Yes.
And you thought money would give it to you, but you got all the way to the top and you realized it's just a lie.
Wow. Yeah.
And so many people, this is so common with affluent people and very successful business owners. They get to the top and they're missing the very things that they want. So I can help them with that.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's a great story. So you look at, what is the answer? And a lot of times I would think in your consultations with them, you're looking at trying to trace it back to early childhood. I think a lot of that is rooted in childhood or even teen years of, how they were treated by their parents, or maybe, who knows, maybe an uncle raised them or the grandmother raised them. But I bet you it's something to do with that type of early childhood learning.
I definitely think you're right on that, Brandon. But here's the good news. I was just with a client this morning before I got here, and he was struggling with that. He's like, well, what's causing this? Like, maybe it was something in my childhood. I was like, here's the great news. It doesn't matter. And you don't need to find it. Like, you don't need to know what the source of the thing that's stopping you is. You just need to see what's stopping you.
Right. Okay.
And then you get to choose in it. And here's the lie is your mind wants you to believe that you have to go figure out the how.
Right.
Well, how do I do it? How do I get past this? How do I do it? Well, you've been trying to figure that out for the past 10 or 20 years, haven't you?
Right.
How's that working for you?
Right.
If it was working, you wouldn't still be stuck, would you?
Right.
And eventually you have to just wrestle with that and go, okay, that makes sense. Then what do? You just choose. You choose what you actually want. And this is why it's so important to sit with that question. What do you really want right now in your life? That's what I get to help people have breakthroughs in.
Yeah, that's powerful, man. That's really good stuff. Stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. More from our expert contributors, attorney Richard Alexander in studio, Joseph Warren as well, and more from our expert contributors. Make sure you follow us online at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter, Consumer Quarterback Show page on Facebook.com, and of course on LinkedIn as well. We would love to connect with you. When we come back, we got our feel-good story of the day. Chick-fil-A opens on a Sunday, so a boy with special needs can fulfill his birthday wish. Stay with us right here. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by TrueLeave on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Shamans, we understand cause we the tech shaman. Dude, I got this cool thing to show you. Really, man? Yeah, it's far out and technical and stuff. Awesome, yeah. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Cool.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at ConsumerQB.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show and owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Real excited about our move over to KW. A lot of exciting things happening around the team, around the brokerage. We are looking for agents to join our team. If you're in real estate or in sales, we'd love to talk to you about that. Check us out at ConsumerQB.com. QB.com. I implore you to check out our website. Find a lot of great information, links to all of our expert contributors. We got CPA, financial advisors, all types of different attorneys, home service specialists, folks that can help you live a better life and avoid a lot of the commission-based advice that's so prevalent in our communities. We're going to help save you money and time when it comes to all these different buying decisions and make you just a bit more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We want to help you win. A couple of hot listings here. 103 South Havana Avenue in Tampa. This is a great property. It's in the Plant High School District. Charming South Tampa historic home with 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, over 2,450 square feet. And it's just a great buying opportunity. The owner's making a lot of money right now on Airbnb. 103 South Havana is a beautiful property in South Tampa. 4613 South Matanzas Avenue. This is 4 bedrooms, 3 full bath. You also have a half bath as well. Just a quick walk to Bayshore Boulevard to enjoy all that South Tampa has to offer. A great property listing at $720,000, just reduced down to $720,000. Beautiful property listing in gorgeous Tampa Bay. Hot real estate listings at PlatinumMVPRealty.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
And this segment is brought to you by Curry Leaves Restaurant, Indian and Thai cuisine right on Kennedy Boulevard in South Tampa. Curry Leaves Restaurant, excellent food, wonderful desserts as well, and it's a little bit spicy for you, but it's good stuff. I love it. They got the great chicken over there, excellent food right on Kennedy Boulevard. Joseph, you enjoyed it?
Love it.
Good
Butter
stuff.
chicken. Butter chicken's my favorite.
Really good stuff. Curry Leaves Restaurant, South Tampa. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you are a fan of the show. All right, we got attorney Richard Alexander here in studio. He's a personal injury attorney, local expert here in Tampa Bay. Now, wanted to ask you, you're talking about new laws. So you've got the new laws that went into effect. We talked about the raised sales tax. We talked about the employee wages, minimum wages raised, and we talked about some others. But what else is out there?
Well, the state of Florida issued a budget, which is close to $89 billion. $89 million. And some of the things that came out of that is, for instance, there's a $130 million increase for Medicare for nursing homes. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but states are also responsible for a certain portion of Medicare, which was one of the issues when the 26 states sued the Obama administration under the Affordable Health Care Act.
Right.
A lot of the states were saying, well, this is going to break us.
Right.
Because we're responsible for our own portion of Medicare. And, that was one of the issues in which the lawsuit was issued. A lot of things, for instance, there's going to be $3.3 billion put in reserves. Under the new law, there's going to be money spent towards the Everglades preservation.
Good.
And if anybody doesn't think that, that's not an important part of Florida, especially the ecosystem, they're ignorant, because it's a big part of Florida's ecosystem.
Huge. And that has such a ripple effect. But I'm from South Florida. I'm from a small town. I used to go hunting and fishing down there in the Everglades growing up. I mean, I grew up in the South, South Florida. But yeah, what an impact that has. And it's a natural cleansing for the environment. When the water flows through those grasslands and the whole situation there. But yeah, that's a great point you made. And then you look at how the red tide, and then someone was saying it's also like a blue tide. There's a different effect. So there's a lot of impacts that it has, and I'm glad that they made some moves to really protect that.
Yeah, another thing they're doing is Florida wants to attract more eminent faculty.
Okay.
They want to set aside some money as well. Again, this is all new law for preeminent universities that have been designated preeminent. So they want more funding to go to those universities.
Interesting.
So Florida gets it, as far as the education level and retaining faculty at that level.
Yeah.
So they're going to reserve and certainly put more money into that. Another one that came out, which I thought was interesting, was there's this scholarship now called Hope Scholarship, which is now new law. And this is directed towards kids that are being harassed or bullied in schools.
Wow.
And when any type of transaction involving motor vehicles, you're going to have the opportunity to invest into a Hope Scholarship, sort of like a trust account.
Interesting.
And any kids that are being harassed, documented harassed or bullying, this Hope Scholarship is going to go to getting you transferred to a private school.
Wow.
So, that's
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty controversial too. I mean, you can imagine, what is bullying and harassment, and is this documented, or you just you just feel lost, whatever. But so that's how to implement it is going to be an interesting issue.
Yeah, that is interesting. We're talking with attorney Richard Alexander here, Alexander Law, on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhyme. And I want to go back to something earlier. We talked about how we raised sales tax, and I think part of that went to education. Was that the one?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So what about the lotto? I mean, people are they're spending a lot of money on this lotto, and the jackpots get to multiple millions of dollars. I thought a percentage of that was going to education.
Yeah, well, if you remember, Brandon, that's how it was sold to us.
Right.
You know, the consumer, it was sold to us that, hey, you know, a portion of your money is going to go to education.
Yeah.
Is it?
Right. Is it? And how, why do we need to raise this income tax? So many people are spending money on lotto. I mean, I see it happen a lot. You see all these different jackpots, and you go every now and then I play, especially, I'll bring my daughter along and just kind of show her, oh, let's see, it's kind of fun. And we'll do a scratch off, or we'll do, one of the quick pick type deals. But when you look at that, man, it's just there's all these different ones now too, these different games,
and they come up too. There are also seasonal lottery tickets that you don't see. They come out around Christmas. They come out around different times of the year. And I talk to my wife about it all the time. For a lot of people, and I'm talking, this is just what I see. Laborers, this is their retirement plan.
Yeah, exactly. It really is. And It's sad. It's so sad. It's like a tax on the poor is what I've heard as well. I've heard it called that.
Agreed.
It's like another way that they're just selling this dream to people. And does the money really go to where it's supposed to go? I think there needs to be more investigative journalism in that area to see, where is the money going? And I know, especially even with nonprofits, here in Tampa Bay, charitable organizations, we need to really investigate where the money's going with these types of organizations.
I think if anybody's looking to get their PhD, it's probably a good doctoral study, right?
That would be super cool there.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, because you got to do that when you're, in that process. So interesting stuff here. So you're helping people in the Tampa Bay market with personal injury law, different types of situations. Let's give them a little overview of what your practice handles.
Well, personal injury, slip and fall. Personal injury, of course, is typically we all think of personal injury as motor vehicle accidents,
right?
And we talked last time about Florida being a quote unquote no fault state,
right?
And a lot of people really don't know what that means. And,
it gets confusing.
Well, yeah, especially since what PIP actually does.
Personal injury protection.
Yeah. And all of us are required to have it by law.
Mm-hmm.
But when people find out what it really does, the consumer comes up upside down. Especially if it's just strictly your, say your costs are under $10,000.
Right.
Then you really get screwed.
Yeah. It's tough. And even you had mentioned last time, you're rear-ended by a car. It's totally not your fault. It's the person behind you, but it goes back on their type of coverage, right?
You are completely 100% innocent. For the first $10,000, by law, you must go through your insurance company for the first $10,000.
Right.
Even if you are completely not at fault.
Right. Yeah, and it ends up just biting people. It really does. It hurts them in a lot of ways. So personal injury law, you can help. So there's a lot of different ways. Of course, that's the most known, or we find that a lot, is the auto vehicle accidents. What else? What else have you seen? Do you have any success stories or any kind of interesting areas of personal injury law that you've been involved with?
I look at success stories in personal injury law, Brandon. It's just getting the client treated.
Yeah.
And, getting them, a little bit of money in their pocket, obviously, which is, non-taxable.
Yep.
So that way they can just get the help they needed, because we see people, a lot of the times that are really hurt.
Right.
I mean, legitimately hurt.
Yep. And,
success stories are just, did you take care of the client? Was the client treated? Did they have a good, association with the doctors and the staff? Those mini success stories are big.
Now, you're one of the attorneys that will actually go to trial. You'll go to the courthouse, correct?
I have about 120 trials under my belt.
That's right. Yeah. So that's, some of the other companies are more marketing and advertising companies. They don't actually go to trial, is what I hear.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to name the firm, but they're heavy on advertising, and he is one of the attorneys that's a listed partner.
Yep.
Is on record in a local newspaper saying, "Yeah, well, we don't go to trial. It's just too much to lose."
Wow. Yeah. So you're looking at different ways that you can help people when it comes to that. As your consumer advocate, you want someone that's going to fight for you. You want someone that's not scared to go to trial and will go to trial. Richard Alexander, Esquire here, Alexander Law. Helping people, when they really need it.
Thank you. We also do criminal defense as well, which is its own, unique animal, of course,
Criminal defense, man, that's a whole nother area. You're wrongly arrested, or you may have had a couple too many when you're drinking, and you got behind the wheel. You thought you ate a heavy enough meal, but you had actually 2 or 3 more different alcoholic beverages than you should have, and you're just over the limit. There's a lot of issues there with criminal law, personal injury law. Richard Alexander, more from Richard coming up as well in our lightning round, and Joseph Warren as well in the studio here. So stay with us when we come back. More from our expert contributors and our feel-good story of the day. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to consumerqb.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by TrueLeave on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay. Got a hot listing over in Tarpon Springs, 206 Mariner. This is a great property, 2 bedrooms, 2 bath, ground floor, furnished is an option as well at 206 Mariner. This is a great property. You got a swimming pool on site, great location, close to the water, 206 Mariner. Owner's motivated, and it's a hot property listing here in Tampa Bay. Box Drive up in Hudson, 12939 Box Drive in Hudson. This is a rolling oats estate. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath property, about 1,800 square feet on a full acre of land. This is a great opportunity, and there's no HOA. The previous owner, he's a veteran, first of all. Let's help this veteran out. Let's sell his house for him. 12939 Box Drive in Hudson. Wants to sell his house, and he's also in the past he's had like chickens in the backyard, so there's no HOA. You can do pretty much what you want there, in Hudson. So hot property listings, check out PlatinumMVPRealty.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, every day we're going to tell you something positive in our feel good segment here. We're going to tell you something good.
Tell me something good.
All right, right, so Chick-fil-A in Mobile, Alabama opened its doors on a Sunday to help a special little boy celebrate his birthday. Elijah Sprague, who has autism, wanted to celebrate his 14th birthday at his favorite restaurant and fulfill his dream of working the drive-thru. His uncle, Walt Gilstrap, is the manager at the local Chick-fil-A, so he and the owner decided to fulfill the boy's wish and open the restaurant on Sunday. Elijah ran the drive-thru window where he was passed out cookies to 40 cars, the news organization reported. The participants then went inside the restaurant to finish celebrating Elijah's birthday with a festive cookie cake. The way people love this kid, it amazes me. It's truly changed the way I live my life, loving people with your whole heart, judgment aside, with no anticipation of rewards. Thank you, every single person that loves our Elijah. That's his mother, Renee Sprague, said. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Chick-fil-A, I've gone through the drive-thru on Sunday. I'm like looking forward to it, and I'm like, oh, I forgot they're closed on Sundays. Good stuff.
Gotcha.
They got some good stuff there. But all right, we're back in our studio. We got Joseph Warren in the house, Richard Alexander. We're jumping into our lightning round.
The lightning round.
I am so good at lightning rounds.
I majored in lightning round.
All right, lightning round is top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Attorney Richard Alexander, you're up first, sir.
Well, I just want to say, the reason I'm bringing this to our attention today is the power of knowledge. I talk about it all the time. Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
And just be aware of the new laws out there. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. It's not a defense.
Mm-hmm.
So just be cognizant, listen, read, whatever it takes, but make sure you're aware of the new laws that are out there and take advantage of them.
Yeah.
There are new laws out there protecting farmers and property owners for Hurricane Irma and some benefits for military vets, waiving licensing fees. So be knowledgeable.
Yeah, that's the key right there, understanding it. And, there might even be niches to start a business in some of these cases. You see that happen. Yeah, good stuff. Attorney Richard Alexander. All right, Joseph Warren, CoCreativ.
All right. Yes. What's up, buddy? All right, cool. So lightning round. I wanted to just invite your listener, your guest. I have 2 podcasts, right? And I want to contribute to you. If you are in the category of entrepreneur who is struggling or wrestling to make your first $100,000 right now, welcome to 90% of entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. That's where they get stuck. So I interview successful entrepreneurs who have gone past that. And they share their stories. They share their top 3 tips on every single episode, every single show of how they made their first 100K and how you can do it. So that's a podcast for the business side. And then for the faith-based side, I have another podcast that I host called Broken Catholic. And this is where I interview, Catholics, Protestants, atheists, agnostics, and we're all broken. None of us have it all figured out. None of us have all the answers. And when we finally get that we're all the same in our struggles, we can actually have some breakthroughs in different areas. We can work together, we can unify, and we can actually create a world that works. So that's that podcast. So you notice I just tied 2 things together, and that's what God has been putting on my heart is building faith into my business. And that's been a big thing. I'm kind of going through myself right now, and that allowing myself to do that, allowing myself to have that space of bringing God into my business and not keeping him at the door where my belief systems are in conflict with the very things I'm doing in my business. I used to do that, and it actually didn't work because I was showing up inauthentically in my business. And if you resonate with that, then it's about building faith into the business. And I invite you to my spiritual coaching. I do a clarity call. And if you are maybe fall within line of my ideal client that I mentioned earlier, and you're doing really well in business and finances and you're making all the money, but you're wrestling with the other areas of your life and maybe something's missing, and it could look like a deeper connection with your higher power or with God, and you really want that, but you just don't know how to access it. Or maybe it's more loving communication with your spouse or with your children, and you don't know how to access that. Or maybe it's just simply you want inner peace and you don't know how to get it. You're literally living in stress and worry mode about tomorrow constantly, and you don't know how to shut off the brain. This is exactly the areas that I can contribute. So I offer a 30-minute complimentary clarity call, and we get clarity on that. What's that number one thing that's blocking you in that area of your life? And I promise you it's blocking you in all areas of your life. And once you get clarity on it, you get freedom and you get choice, and then you can start creating the life that you love. And we also discuss on that call what it looks like to work with me in a coaching relationship. And by the end of the call, if that's a fit, fantastic. We move forward. If it's not a fit, that's totally fine too. So if that's of interest to you, you can find that at josephwarren.net. That's josephwarren.net.
Very cool. Yeah, that's good stuff. Combining, like you mentioned, you're bringing the spiritual side to your business. You got the 2 podcasts, First 100K, The Broken Catholic as well, published author as well. I wanted to ask Richard as well, go back to you. The knowledge is power. You had mentioned the knowledge is power and touched on a couple of these different rules and laws that have changed again. Let's talk more about some of those other laws.
Sure. Well, the one I talked about is the benefits they're going to give to military veterans, their spouses as well. They're going to waive some professional licensing fees.
Yes.
In certain cases for the vets, which is great because a lot of times if you're looking to start a business, you have to get a license from the county or you have to go through the business of professional regulations and they'll waive fees in certain respects.
Yeah.
So, that's just tremendous upside on that.
That is. Absolutely.
Also, anybody affected by Hurricane Irma.
Yes.
If you can prove any type of, causation, property owners and farmers are going to be able to reap some of that, loss in the state of Florida.
Mm.
So again, just tremendous upside on that. All you got to prove is, hey, listen, this is where I was revenue-wise last year. This year, it happened during Hurricane Irma, weeks before, weeks after, and I'm entitled to, compensation. They'll write you a check.
Yeah, it's kind of like the BP oil spill back when that happened.
Exactly like
Very
that.
similar to that.
Just state of Florida.
So the state of Florida now is the one kicking in for the budget side.
Correct.
Yeah. That's great. Those are ways that you can, live a better life, especially if you're a veteran. The veterans out there, there's special incentives with our mortgage partners through the show. As the owner of Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams, we're going to rebate money back to our veterans if they buy or sell with us. So there's a lot of opportunity in the marketplace. And I love how you let in with that. Knowledge is power, and it's also potential power if you don't do anything with it. And you got to have those action items behind it. So those are great new, laws and things that you're bringing to our attention there, Richard. What else? Is there anything else outside of what we covered?
There's one that's fairly controversial, but the state of Florida now will forbid local businesses from doing business with any other country that boycotts Israel.
Interesting. Okay. Wow. So that's a state law in Florida?
Now, that's interesting because it may affect commerce in some way.
Right.
And Congress is very, very curious about any state having any say when it comes to commerce.
Right.
So, I'd be very interesting to see if that could pass constitutional muster.
Wow.
Because, Florida is having, some say on local businesses and doing any type of business with, a foreign entity, a foreign sovereign.
Right.
So I'd be curious to see if that's going to be affected in the court system.
So yeah, any sovereign country that is not an ally to Israel.
It would have to affect Florida. So Florida businesses are forbidden, to do business with any country that boycotts Israel.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so a lot of good information here today. Attorney Richard Alexander, thanks so much for bringing that information. What's your website? Where can people find you?
TrustAlexanderLaw.com.
TrustAlexanderLaw.com. There's a screenshot on our TV side. If you're watching WeBeam TV, you can see that. And if not, stream it from our website. And then, Joseph, back to you, your website and parting words.
Sure. josephwarren.net is the website, josephwarren.net. If you need office rental here in Tampa or co-working space, it's CoCreativ.com. That's CoCreativ.com. Leave the E off the end. And parting words. I think it's important to just step back right now as you start into January and ask yourself, what do you really want to create for your life in 2019? And I mentioned earlier, intention versus goals. And so many times we start with resolutions for New Year's resolutions, and then they don't actually activate in our lives. We don't manifest them. And I think it's because we haven't got clear on our intention. An intention may look like this year, 2019, I'm going to create a loving communication or a more loving relationship with my spouse.
Yep.
That's your intention. Now you're going to set goals of how you specifically do that. And that might be, I'm going to dedicate 30 minutes in my calendar every night to just one-on-one time with my spouse.
There you go.
See, once you get convicted and committed to it, and you actually have an intention around it, you can actually achieve this and realize this in your life. So what is your thing that you want to commit to this year?
Good stuff. Awesome. All right, we're out of here. Brandon Rhymes, Consumer Quarterback Show. Please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Big.
Are you a real estate agent looking to take your business to the next level and supercharge your marketing? Hi, I'm Brandon Rhymes, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, syndicated radio and TV show talk program on iHeartRadio, 1025 The Bone, daily 5 o'clock drive time on 1380 The Biz, and our TV show is on WeBeam TV. We're looking for real estate agents that want to join our team and supercharge their marketing utilizing some of our innovative strategies. We utilize the Real Geeks platform, Facebook marketing, internet marketing, and a lot of the traditional methods as well. Postcard mailers mailed for you, postage, signage, business cards, all paid for by the company. Aggressive real estate splits and ways to help you win in any marketplace. We need you to go out, take applications, and work our plethora of leads that we're generating on a daily basis. Reach out by clicking the form below, and we'd love to have a confidential interview with you.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by TrueLeaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the Consumer Quarterback.